call this meeting to order. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Elick?
Here.
Ms. Karstafen?
Here.
Mr. Bax?
Here.
Mr. Brubaker?
Here.
And Mr. Gebhardt?
Here.
Great, thank you. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the February 6th board meeting. I'd like to introduce our group up here. To my right is board member Kevin Brubaker. To his right is board member Jim Bax. I'm Greg Elick. To my left is board member and vice president Annie Karstafen. To her left is board member Mike Gebhardt. To his left is our superintendent Ann Slosh. And to her left is our award-winning treasurer Joy Clickinger. Okay, this looks like this will be a quick meeting, not a lot on the agenda today. I believe we have no board recognition, no presentations, and no visitors. So with that said, the January 23rd meetings have been posted. Could I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions, comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Oh, and we jumped over board discussions and reports, but we already knew there were none, so we'll move right along to treasurer action items.
Thank you,
Madam
Mr.
Treasurer.
President. The only thing I have this evening are the donations. It's to acknowledge, express appreciation, and accept the gifts and donations as listed in your agenda.
Great. Can I have a motion to accept the donations?
So moved.
First, I have a second?
Second.
And a second. Questions, comments? I do have a question. On the 50,000, was that originally, were they originally intending to donate to the stadium, or how did that?
Yes, that was initially the discussion, and then they changed their focus, and they decided to focus primarily on the early childhood preschool component.
Great.
But there will still be a presence at the stadium.
Oh, great.
It's
Okay.
fantastic.
Super.
It's just unbelievable.
No, that is. It's a very large donation. Okay, Madam Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Any other reports today, Madam Treasurer?
No. That's all.
Okay, moving along. Superintendent, Madam Superintendent, starting off, I guess, action items first, huh?
Yes, I would like to recommend the following items under superintendent action items. First of all, for the approval of an overnight field trip for middle school robotics to Marion, Ohio. And that concludes my recommendations under superintendent action items.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the field trip? Is that yes? Motion by Mr. Gebhardt
Second.
and Mr. Bax with a second. Questions, comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Any superintendent other report?
No superintendent other, but I do have a few items under personnel actions.
Okay.
First of all, to approve the appointment of the following certified staff. We have a few more subs and tutors. Also, to approve the athletic supplemental contracts for the following certified, classified, non-employee as detailed below. You see, we're starting into the spring sports, so that should make Mr. Brubaker happy. Then to approve the appointment of the following classified staff for substitutes and building operations. And that concludes my recommendations for personnel action items.
Do I have a motion to approve the personnel action items recommended by the superintendent?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Brubaker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by board member Karstafen. Question, how many subs are we up to now?
We're up to about 75.
75. That's pretty low, isn't it, compared to where we usually are?
Yes, we're
Okay.
usually around 100.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
it's not just our school district, though, that's suffering. A lot of other school districts are suffering. We're finding out that a lot of people aren't going into education. So unfortunately, it's a problem amongst many school districts.
Wow. Okay. So 75. Other questions, comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Madam Superintendent, do you have a report for us today?
Yeah, real quickly, I first and foremost want to thank the board and all the well wishes I received in the past week. It's really unbelievable how many people support the kids of Elyria and a lot of businesses, and it's going to be a great year. So also would like to remind everyone that Almost Maine, the play, is this weekend. We have a Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday matinee. It's a romantic comedy, I believe, is what it's labeled. Also, just a few sporting events. I think wrestling duel at States on Sunday.
Oh, wow, okay.
And we have basketball Friday night. But also Friday's in-service, wanted to touch base on that a little bit. We had a very successful in-service on Friday, conference style, over 500 attending, 90 different sessions. So next year, it's so well received, we're going to do 2 of them. So kudos to all the teachers, a lot of hard work, teachers and administrators. And that's the end of my board report.
Oh, great.
Or superintendent's report.
Okay, super. Thank you, Madam Superintendent. And there's no Board of Education reports unless there's something for the good of the cause from the board members?
Nothing tonight.
No, with nothing, and there's no executive session. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Board Member Christoffen, a second by Board Member Gebhardt. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. The meeting is adjourned.
Way to go, Hal.